We're going to slash 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah.
Are you slashing it? Because this is where.
No, this is the cut. That's the. This is where the placket is going to go into. What's the length of the placket?
It's 38. Okay. The length is 38, and the width is 2.25.
2.25. Okay. So we'll just do about just do 40. You fold. So 2.25 by 40. Remember I said, so you need to measure from that up to the bust level. That's the part we're going to dart, otherwise it will gape. You want to cut a straight strip and insert it into something that is curvy. So we need to dart it a little bit so that it doesn't gape. So what do we have around that area? I need up to the bust points.
Okay.
What do you have around here?
Here is
around here and around here. Okay, so on that strip, on the straight strip that we are cutting, we're going to measure from the top to up to those 2 points and dart it a little bit, because if we insert the straight strip into the curvy parts, it will gape. Might not be much, but at least we can control it, so let's control it. What are you looking for? Okay, so we'll do one together, and so first separate this. Also draw your balance mark. Your balance mark and separate. Make your balance mark double lines. That's not supposed to be 2 lines, 2 strokes. Do another one in between here. The distance is too much. Then in between. You're cutting the plackets first.
This is not long enough, so I want to wrap paper to it.
Let your paper extend because you're not sure that straight line is going to be straight. Extend it. Inshallah. What's the length we need?
40.
Okay. You're measuring in inches, but you're putting the part of the so quickly cut that one out and let's do the fullness you're adding.
But you are going to place this on fold, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Cut double. 2.5 inches, 2.25 into 2, then plus the allowance, 4.5, then plus the allowance. So that's like 5.5.
Sure you are going to dart at those points. When you fold it.
Good, very good. Now, once we done, to cut 2 and use 1 to turn 1.
We'll be cutting 2 of them.
Okay.
Since you just said
Fold.
once we dart it, it won't be straight and unfold. So we have to cut 2 and use 1 to turn the other.
Okay.
Except of course we don't want to dart. Like I said, the difference might not be much. We can leave it and not dart it, and we're going to tack it down. So that difference can actually be eased in because there are buttons.
Okay.
Look at the design. Can you see there are buttons? Do you know what happens when people are buttoning up their shirts?
Yes.
That space. See. And it's going to be tacked down. We can ignore it and
I've got another machine from Paul.
Oh, wow.
Table one.
Oh,
He wanted me to go. I said, no, I'm not buying any.
industrial.
I don't even want industrial. Even the table one that has so many. I just want to simplify the machine.
Okay, so now we're going to cut and spread. Remember, it's not slash and spread. We're going to cut and spread because we want volume at the top and volume at the
base.
However, we need to create guidelines for ourselves. Where's the paper you want to use? You need a complete paper. That is this. So you need to bring the brown paper. Use brown paper. Okay, so because we are cutting and spreading, we need guideline for us. So that, because the upper part especially still has to be on a straight line. So we have two horizontal lines that can guide us. Yes, fantastic. These two lines, they can guide us when you're cutting and spreading. So we can't just cut and start spreading the otherwise we're going to be lost in transit kind of. Okay, so since our paper is straight at the upper parts, so she needs to draw one horizontal line that will match
this.
Yes, she can draw both these two from the edge of the paper. So first she needs to measure from the top of the paper to this point and to this point, and do the same from the edge of the brown paper to that point and to that point, so that by the time, yeah, go on, measure from the center front. So you measure from the center front at the waist up to this point, up to this point. She's going to put that measurement also on this brown paper, so that when we cut into strips, that is what is going to help us.
That will be a guide.
Yes. Hi, Neka. Hi, Habimbola. Yeah, we are designing, so we are talking about cut and spread, which is a bit different from slash and spread. So I said slash and spread is achieved when you want volume at just one end of your pattern, but cut and spread is done when you want to achieve volume at the top and at the bottom of your pattern. So we're doing cut and spread, not slash and spread, because we want volume at the top and as well at the bottom. But when you're doing cut and spread, you can't just cut your pattern into strips and start placing on your new sheet of paper. So you need to create guideline, and that's what she's doing right now. So you need to, what we have done is we've chosen guideline from the pattern we're about to cut. So she has measured from the top, which is the waist, to, we have two horizontal lines that will guide us. Okay, so she has taken this measurement and she's putting it on here. So by the time we cut this into strips, we'll just, position them to match, and we'll start spreading according to our fullness, the fullness that we desire. Your guideline must be straight and accurate, otherwise it's going to mislead you, because what's the purpose of a guideline that is not straight? That's what is going to guide you, that's what is going to help you to place your strips. So if your guideline is not accurate, then it's of no use. It has defeated the purpose of which you want to. So we can now go ahead and cut into strips. Before that, number your pattern. So this is from our design. This is a separate piece and this is a separate piece. So we have about 6 strips of pattern. So we're going to cut from the bottom.
What are we adding first? Addition.
We can decide how much addition do we. Let's look at our design again. How much gathers do we have? The gathers, they are not much, maybe double of each strip. So let's say maybe we'll add double of what we have on the waist. So what do we have on the waist right now? And we are not closing the dart. The dart is going to be part, it's going to be part of that fullness already. So So she can just measure straight like that.
This 20.75.
So let's say we're adding 21.
Okay.
So 21 in each, divided by the spaces 1, 2, 3, 4. 4. So 21 divided by 4. That will tell us what we're going to space. And like I said, we can do less here because according to the design, the gather here is less. But let's go ahead and do the same gathering.
Okay.
So we are adding another 21.
By 4.
5.25, right?
Yeah, 5.25. Ha, grandma is a mathematician. No?
The
Hi.
opening here. Okay.
So this is how you match the lines. I hope they can see it. See, we are matching the line. That is the essence of a guideline. You can move it back so that you don't waste paper, because paper underneath. We manage. Things are expensive now, even paper. You know, this ream of paper is now like 23,000. Well, as at the last time, I don't know how much they are selling it now. So you have to manage your resources.
That is one thing I have to learn.
Yeah,
I'm so wasteful.
It's because you're still learning. So now she's going to measure at the waist at 5.25. Yes. So this is how to do your addition when you're doing cut and spread, which is different from slash and spread. So we're going to gather it back to our 21.75 that we did. Do you think double will be enough, or should we do more? Should we round it up to 6?
Okay.
Or will it be too much?
On this side, there's not much gathers.
Yeah, it's
so I
not
think we
much
should just
gathers.
do this one. No, this is the side that has the.
Let's
Yeah, but we
it.
said we are not seeing the side totally, but I'm seeing that this part and this part are almost looking the same. So let's just go ahead.
So by 6.
Let's increase it to 6. Because sometimes when you finish gathering this thing, it will look chinkiny. Yes, grandma is with us. Grandma, someone is saying hello.
Hello.
Yes, they know you. They've seen your work on Facebook quite a lot of times, so they know you.
How are you? How are you coping with the coro? Keep safe.
Neka, can you hear grandma? Yeah, grandma is with us. Okay, so we forgot to write our allowance, 0.5 of an inch. Yeah, because that's the only, these two, it's like a separate piece. So there are two panels at the down parts that make up the skirt. Hi, Hamina. Good morning. Is it okay? It's still morning. Okay. Also, I would like to mention, before we start cutting our pattern, if you look at the bottom of our pattern paper, it's not straight, it's diagonal. So we're still going to blend it again to give us that shape, and that's the purpose of doing it this way. It's easier to do it this way. You're going to see what will happen once we're done placing all the strips. We're going to close them and blend the hem. It's quite interesting. Grandma Haneka is saying thank you, ma'am. God bless you always.
And you too. So,
There won't be any funnels on here.
okay.
Because
What
this
do
is
you
where
do?
the brackets will be. So
Okay.
this should be closed. So it's from
Do,
here I'll be adding.
will you have to measure this one?
No, I don't need to measure this one because the big bracket. So
Okay.
it's from this other one. From here,
Mhm.
they'll be adding another.
Okay. Are you cutting it out?
We have to cut this one out. There's no need for that frame here. Ma?
Oh, Grandma, someone said, hi, Grandma, you are an inspiration.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you, guys.
I have lots of time in my hand, so I shouldn't waste it.
Aww.
Give me. It's not making sense.
Right? You need
You
more
don't-
paper. Tomato.
No, I don't think so.
I will.
Where's your 6? Ma?
You see, when you read this thing in the textbook, just because you have a lot of ideas in your head. But when it's showing it like this, yes, what I saying it and then reading the book. Show my attention. Check on your matter.
We need extra paper.
A little bit.
We can have the white one, Abby. Just add it. So. everyone, good afternoon. Okay, so I hope you're all staying safe. Okay, so we're designing and we're showing the difference between slash and spread and cut and spread. So basically, when you're designing and you need fullness, you can slash and you spread for fullness. However, there is a difference between when you need fullness at both ends. For example, on your waist, if you need to gather your waist and you need fullness at the bottom of your dress, which we call M, you will have to do what we call cut and spread. So slash and spread means you cut from one end to the other without cutting through. You cut two, then you slash and you spread the bottom part to give you fullness. However, cut and spread means you cut from the M to the top and you cut through. You separate, you cut your pattern into strips like what you're seeing in this video. Okay, so we actually separated the pattern into pieces. We cut them into pieces because we desire fullness at the upper part as well as at the lower part of what we are about to make. So that's the difference between cut and spread and slash and spread. Slash and spread, both of them you can use both them when you are adding fullness, when you need volume in your garments. But you need to know which one to use for what design. Okay, so we talked about, sorry, we came on Instagram late. So this is what we've done. So we said when you're cutting and spreading, you need guidelines. Please pass me the pencil. So you need guidelines. So we've drawn two guidelines on our full paper. So this is the strip. This is what it looks like. I hope you can see. Okay, so you can see two horizontal lines. These lines are our guidelines for placing these strips on this new sheet of paper. Otherwise, if you don't create guidelines for yourself and you just cut your main pattern into strips and start placing, you would not place them accurately, trust me. And when you're designing, we work with proportions, we work with guidelines, we work with things that would make your work come out very well. So basically that's what we've done. These lines, these two horizontal lines you're seeing on this brown paper were actually taken from the original pattern. So can you put this to this? So you see what this actual pattern looked like before we cut into strips. So she's putting them together. So these two strips were actually together before we cut them separately. And we've used the guidelines, the two guidelines on the original pattern to draw the two guidelines on the brown pattern so that we'll be able to place the strips accurately on this brown pattern. I hope that makes sense. Okay, so now we are done placing and adding fullness. So this is what I was talking about. So the brown part you're seeing is the fullness we want to add to the waist of this dress. This brown part you're seeing, the white paper are the actual pattern pieces. Okay, so we'll be gathering the waist of this dress. So basically this is what it should look like when you're adding fullness to a particular part of your garment. Also, another reason we've used this method is because the hem of our dress is actually not straight, it is diagonal. It is a mulet, like a high-low design. So if you're not careful and you just decided to add your fullness or at one end. By the time you gather from one end to the other end, the M will not balance. Okay, I hope I'm making sense a little. Unfortunately, we didn't start the Instagram live on time, but I hope you've been able to learn one or two things. Also, we've drawn a balance mark here. Balance marks help you to bring your pattern pieces together. Even if you've not gotten anything in this video, at least balance mark, you should know that when you're cutting your pattern pieces when you're cutting your pattern into pieces, you need to add balance mark to help you bring them back together. Okay, so we are done adding our fullness. The next thing is to create the eye look. Can you fold them back to the original? Let's see what happens. So she's trying to match them back. Right, so the fullness is underneath already. This is to tell you, this is like for you to check whether you've done the right thing or not. So you need to kind of match them together to confirm if you've done the right thing. So we are taking them back to their original positions. Thank you, M's Lock and Fit. Oh, thank you so much. Thanks for joining. Oluwakemi Adekule, thanks sis for joining. Omo Babiri, thank you. Sulibi Kutor, I hope I pronounced that very well. Thanks for joining. Dorcas, thanks for joining. I hope I'm making sense. Sorry we didn't start on time on Instagram. Even grandma is jotting. Okay, so our grandma is here in the house with us. She's shadowing. She likes to shadow us whenever we are designing, which I think it's very, very nice. We always talk about internship. You don't just finish learning and you just disappear. No, you go learn, you go study other people who are already in the industry and see how they do. So internship is very, very, very important. If you want to do well, you study other people, see what they do, see how you can, what you can get from them to start your own business. So our grandma is here. She's making notes. Oh, thank you. Sister Bimbo. She said #1 fashion teacher. Thank you so much. Thank you. Okay, I hope this is making sense now. So we're trying to bring them back together. So you have to check to see if you've done the correct thing. If you haven't, then this is the time to amend them. So if we pin them together, can you pin them together so they can see what we've done? Just pin them together so they'll be able to at least understand what we've done a bit. Okay, I'll just pin it at that upper part. Okay, I hope you're seeing what the pattern was like before we cut into strips. And like I said, this is the cut and spread method, which is different from slash and spread. So you cut and spread when you need fullness at the upper parts and at the bottom of your garments or whatever it is you're making. Slash and spread is when you cut from the bottom and to the top without cutting through. You cut to. But in this design we are creating, we want fullness at the top and as well as at the bottom. So that is why we are cutting and spreading and not slashing and spreading. Also, when you're cutting and spreading your darts, you can see our darts on the waist. It has become part of the fullness we are trying to achieve at the waist parts, on the waist parts. Grandma, well done. Grandma is making her notes seriously as best as she could. Well done, Grandma.
Thank you.
You need to bring this back also.
There won't be any fullness.
Yeah, I know. So that they would see, I want them to see what the... Bring this back to here first. I want them to see what the pattern was like before we cut.
No, scissors.
So the part she's cutting away, there won't be fullness according to the design we are creating. I just want her to bring the white paper, which is the pattern, back together so that she would see what it looked like before we cut and started spreading. So this is our full skirt block. This was what it looked like initially before we cut and started adding fullness. See the point of balance mark, the essence of balance marks. So your balance mark will help you bring pattern pieces together accurately, and that's why you must have them on your pattern pieces. Okay, I'll just raise the camera a little bit so you can see the hem of the dress. Also, when you're designing, it is important to document. So we've documented few things here. I hope you can see. So you should always write. It helps you when you're making maybe the same design next time. And let's say, for example, you're making for a size 8 now and you need to make for a size 10, 12, 14. It guides you. Whatever information you've written now will guide you when you're making subsequent designs or sizes. Okay, so this is what the skirt part looked like before we cut and was spreading. And you can see the M is not straight. It is a mulet M, a high-low kind of M. Okay, so now at this point you can do two things. You can now draw a line from the new M from one side to the other, or you open like we opened initially and just draw a straight line, whichever one you want depending on the design you're making. Can you connect this line to this line now, please?
Sorry.
So if you connect like this, it's going to give you a zigzag M. But remember, you're going to gather them at the waist. So by the time you gather, the M also will come back together like you would want them to. So she's going to connect the M, and you're going to see what it's going to look like by the time we open again. Can you use tracing wheel on it, please? Make sure it's showing at the bottom, because it doesn't look like you're adding pressure. Okay, so you can use tracing wheel to trace it first and open your pattern pieces to see what it looks like. If it's not what you desire, then you probably have to blend it, however or whatever your design is.
Okay, so can I dry down the top?
Yeah, it's showing, right? I hope they're going to see this. Okay, so we're going to be ending the video soon. Okay, so once she opens it, you can take this out. See, you're going to have something like a zigzag at the bottom. Can you see it?
Okay.
So you're going to have something like the zigzag. This is called truing. We've trued the M. That's basically what we've done. However, if your design does not require you to true your M, then you can blend. So what we can do again now is to connect this with a straight line. So we'll start blending these parts. So put your ruler on here. You can remove that one. A longer ruler. So we're going to blend from here. From this point, we're going to connect this point, which is the side seam of the dress from one end, and connect it to the side seam of the other end. If you observe, you see that there are some of the pattern pieces that you're going to cut off. This is okay. It's fine. As long as you still have your desired length from the waist down on one side and your desired length from the waist down on the other side. So let's say, for example, you want to pleat the waist. You can go with the zigzag M. It's fine. Like I said, it depends on the design you're trying to achieve. So basically, this is how to add fullness to your pattern. And this is cut and spread, which I already said it's different from the slash and spread method. So I hope you've been able to, you've learned one or two things from this method. One is you need to create guideline on your new paper. You have to take the guidelines from your original pattern and transfer it to your new pattern before you start cutting your pattern into pieces, and you place them according to the guideline you've created. Okay, so basically that's it for today. Till next time, when we're going to be coming your way, we'll say stay safe and God bless you all. Bye for now.